You're listening to the New World to Go podcast with your hosts, Redbyrd and BDLG.
Hello and welcome to another episode of New World to Go. I'm your host, Redbyrd, and with me is BDLG. Bordy, how you doing, man?
I'm good, man. I'm good. A little tired, but I'm here. I'm good. How about yourself, brother?
I'm fine, and it's good to be here to talk about some more New World stuff. We're gonna talk a bit about a dog tonight. So,
yeah.
I mean, it's been an interesting week or two of coverage as far as on the New World front because the Twitter has been crazy, weird. Let's say it got weird. We'll just say that. Real quick before we hop in here on today's discussion of Barkimedes or however the heck you say it. Don't forget, guys, we have a Discord and we love having people in there. Right now, our Discord is playing a lot of Valheim. We have a community server from Valheim, but obviously we're waiting for New World in there. So if you're interested in New World, you're excited in New World about New World, come join the Discord, chat it up. We have a lot of discussions in there. We have some interesting things developing for our website and stuff that we definitely want you in the Discord for to potentially I don't know if we're ready to announce anything yet, but we'll just say join the Discord for now and more information to come on that. But yeah, dude, we're putting together a company if you don't have a company and all of those good things. Obviously, it's gonna be popping off when New World launches. So join our Discord, and then of course, guys, New World fans, we're getting ready to drop a lot of stuff over there, and so keep your eyes peeled. It's gonna be exciting. I'm excited to have them see, all the things that Taken's been working on. I know that for
sure. Yeah, me too, man. It's gonna be awesome, dude. I can't wait for all of that to be able to come to life. It's gonna be dope.
Taken's a busy man.
That he is.
So it'll be exciting for, we can hype him up a little bit. Maybe we'll have him back on the show eventually to talk about, the new stuff that he puts out if he's willing.
Yeah, we should. Yeah.
We can sign him up. No problem. Taken, you're going to be back on the show. He'll appreciate that. Keep your eyes peeled on New World fans. Obviously, our aim is to be your number one New World resource. You know what I'm saying? We're gonna have everything over there. That's our goal. Yeah. So all right, Bordy. So not much news on the New World front. We're hoping to get some more alpha patch notes this week if we're lucky. Schedule wise, it's due. Hopefully we'll have more news for you next week. But this week we're gonna talk about the Barkimedes tweet series, which is a very interesting topic, I think, in and of itself. If you didn't follow Twitter this week, or you don't follow the New World Twitter account, things got weird real quick. They changed the name of the account to Barkimedes, and of course, us, we were part of the hype. We thought we were all getting like pets or some sort of pets in New World.
Yeah,
we thought that the hype was real. They changed the account to a dog picture, a wolf picture. Sorry, it's insulting to wolves to be called maybe domestic dogs, but we got a dog picture or a wolf picture on the account. He started tweeting in first person or sometimes third person, and it was just getting weird, man. But all of that was to preview the first expedition that we're gonna get, Bordy, not to release that we're getting pets or any sort of cosmetic item. We're gonna get a little bit of a preview of the first expedition that's available or that they're adding is Amrine Expedition.
Yeah, it was a very interesting way to pump it up. I think everyone was very confused there for a little while, and then they started tweeting it out, and so then the following tweets became a little bit more clear, and it was interesting to follow along with it.
Yes. So we're going to go down the line here. So if you don't like Twitter or you don't like social media, we got you, man. You don't have to be part of that craziness that is social media, because we're going to read it all for you right here. Okay? So the tweet strain or the tweet series started February 28th with Sniff Sniff and then a nose emoji, man. I don't know, dude. And so the next following tweet was just literally random consonants, like you know, someone's trying to type with, I guess, a dog paw.
Yeah, I think that was kind of the indication there, is that a dog paw was just smashing on the keyboard.
So fortunately for us, it only took Barkimedes about a couple of hours to learn how to type on a keyboard, and then he typed help, obviously incorrectly spelled because he's a dog, I guess. But then later on in the day, literally hours later, he speaks perfectly, or he types perfect English, Bordy.
Fast learner, bro.
He is a fast learner, very smart guy. He changed his profile. He learned how to change his profile picture on Twitter. You know, take a selfie, use emojis, and type the English language within hours. So this dog is definitely intelligent. Definitely a mage dog, right? We think maybe a high intelligence statistic.
Yeah, probably so.
For Barkimedes. He also has like some sort of philosopher name, you know. So potential, you know, psychic abilities there. So Barkimedes, the next tweet is Barkimedes will explain everything soon, adventures, but first sleep. So that was the break of the day one. So a pretty active day. You know, and not a lot of information about New World, but by golly, there was a lot of tweets. We went back and checked how active the Twitter account was for New World, and they tweeted more in that day than they did the entire month of February and potentially January.
Yeah, it definitely garnered a lot of attention, though. I mean, it worked. It stirred up a lot of discussion about the game and what could be happening for the game, and it even got us on our toes. And we dropped a video about potential pets in New World because that's what everyone thought it was, and everyone. I mean, so many people thought that's what was happening. So it was very interesting. I mean, they definitely ruffled some feathers. I don't know if that's the right term
it's
to
a
use
way.
or not, but whatever. They garnered some excitement. You know what I mean? They definitely worked for that.
Yes. So on with the speculation that we thought it was potentially pets. The next tweet the next day said, I haven't seen my, I have a lost human. I'm looking for someone. Let me tell you a story, a sad one. And he says, but I haven't seen my master, Simon Gray, since this point of losing his human. Every day I wait for him outside the Amrine Excavation since his disappearance. Excuse me. That's why I'm asking for your help to find him. There are many caverns and chambers, so it will be dangerous for a pup like me to go in alone. I will guide you and show you more about the Amrine Excavation. So basically at this point, I think a lot of people took a step back from the pet thing and noticed that maybe this is just going to be a nice little tour of the first expedition. But interestingly, Bordy, on that front, this is actually an NPC outside of the expedition, because it shows they released some in-game footage of someone going up and petting the dog, or Barkimedes. To kind of
I see that. I'm not sure how that's going to work. I wonder if you can actually get Barkimedes in the game to follow you around in the expedition somehow. That might be pretty cool. I don't know if that's going to be a thing, or if he's just sitting outside of there and it's just part of the lore, because there is a lore page sitting there too.
Maybe he's a quest giver. Maybe
potentially.
He helps you complete a particular quest, a side quest or something. That's possible.
Yeah, maybe so.
So he's afraid. He says he's afraid to go into the dungeon. He needs pets and hugs. I really appreciate photos of your loyal companions. So they had prompted everybody to post pictures of their dogs, which I missed that opportunity, dude. Gary would be ashamed if I missed some sort of opportunity to post this picture online. I'm just not gonna tell him about it, obviously.
Yeah. I'm gonna keep that one from our dog Jericho as well. It's just his moment in the spotlight, and I missed it for him.
Yep.
Feel bad.
Yeah. It's too bad. Gary needs to learn not to sleep 20 hours a day, and maybe he'll get more opportunities. So you can pet the dog. That was kind of the end of like the actual like lead up to what they were going to do. So the next day, they said, "I'm ready to go in," and it shows Barkimedes running towards the symbol of and the gate of what we know to be the expedition entrance. Again, heavily influenced by ancient technology, it appears, Bordy. And like he said, it's in like a mine shaft of some sort.
Yeah, the entrance looks pretty cool, man. He's just running in there. It looks like the door is kind of shrouded in some sort of magic, so I would imagine that's what blocks players from just running in there, so you can't get into the instance. But yeah, it looks pretty cool.
Yes. So, and here to preface this, they did go through like a series of choice tweets. I'm not sure, they basically voted on there what you wanted him to do. So the first one, and this is an interesting topic that we'll talk about here, Bordy. There are bales of hay scattered everywhere in the first chamber. They seem very suspicious. Should we sniff and poke at them or keep walking? And now we, of course, as adventurous people in the New World community, chose to have Barkimedes sniff and poke. So this is where I think it gets interesting. He says, "Oh, poop emoji. We shouldn't have done that. The nests are infested with withered. Pick a weapon. No matter what percentage of hit points, they will keep respawning. So get rid of them now." So, dude, here's the first like mechanic. We haven't seen this in New World before, and really like in a lot of MMOs. This is like a monster spawner of some sort, Bordy.
Yeah, that's what it looks like. No matter the percentage of HP, they will keep respawning, so get rid of them now. That's exactly what the tweet says. So I would assume that unless you destroy that hay bale right there, that the withered are just going to continuously spawn on you. So yeah, interesting mechanic in the dungeon. I don't know how many of those we're going to encounter running through the dungeon or where they're going to be placed. But yeah, it's definitely something we haven't seen yet. What do you think about the aesthetic of a hay bale being in the dungeon?
I don't know, dude. And number one, like zombies, like coming from the hay bale. Yeah, I don't know, man. Well, obviously they're
so scattered around the rest of Eternum. The zombies are at the farms, that's where the zombies typically spawn at, are kind of on the farms where you can go, get your carrots and whatever. So maybe they're trying to tie that in somehow, but it looks kind of funny to me having a hay bale in the middle of this excavation type of area. I don't know. Maybe a different spawner would be.
Yeah, well, the Lost, the lore behind the Lost are they're just basically drowned people that wash back up onto shore, right?
Right.
So it is interesting to have hay bales as being their primary source of food or whatever. I don't understand that either. But yeah, I mean, like, so obviously they want it to be something you could destroy. It seems like that's going to be a mechanic, because
that's what it seems like. Yeah.
So I mean, who knows what they could have done differently? But I agree. Hay bales is a tad odd, but I'm not going to complain. It seems like a cool mechanic.
Some sort of portal or something. I don't know. Yeah. It just looks weird to be there.
Yeah, or some some sort of well with water, and they just crawl out of the well until you destroy the well.
Oh, that'd be crazy looking. Yeah, that'd be kind of creepy.
Neat. Like The Ring, dude. Like the movie The Ring. It's just creepy little people.
That'd be kind of scary.
Okay, so obviously, that's an interesting thing, and we'll see if expeditions have similar mechanics like that, where there's monster spawn, you have to actually kill the source of the spawning as a mechanic. I think that's cool. I'm glad they added something different in these expeditions for sure. So obviously, we fought off the withered. He expresses his concern about his owner again. And then he says, "Oh, I see an elite wraith ahead. We're going to have to work harder to employ some real strategy to defeat it. I can't quite put my paw on it, but the wraith looks very familiar. I have a bad feeling. I think the elite wraith is Foreman Nakashima. I watched a lot of anime, Bordy, so I was able to pronounce that name. See."
I was very impressed, actually.
Thank you.
Yeah.
The foreman and Master Simon would often disagree. Master was obsessed with being renowned in New World. The foreman was all work and no play, except for when he played with me. He rarely got any work done when I was around. LOL. So basically, we have the Wraith. We've seen some of these, different forms of these mobs in New World. During the preview event, I saw a void one on this alchemist island of some sort. We had like a 3-hour PvP battle on that island. Do you remember that?
Yeah, I do remember that. That was fun. Yeah.
Anyways, so and then we also say like the ghost people, which were like a light blue tinted. Obviously, the void one was purple. I believe there's some sort of like poison one that had like this dirty like effect to them, a disease or something like that. So obviously the picture's in black and white, so we can't tell if this is a new variation of Wraith that is unique to this boss. But the mob model or the monster model looks very familiar.
Yeah, it does. And we've seen these a lot. I wonder what the mechanic. I don't know what the mechanics are going to be. It says we're going to have to work harder and employ some real strat to defeat it. So hopefully this is. I would assume this is kind of like a mini boss or one of the first bosses you encounter within the dungeon or within the excavation. So it's like I hope it has some sort of mechanics. It kind of alludes to that here in the tweet.
Yeah, it seems like it's named, which is good. It has some lore behind it, which is also good. I like the the idea of telling a story through a dungeon, and seems like they do have one linked to this excavation, which is pretty cool.
So how did he turn into a wraith? I'd be interested to know that. Like, what is going on here? I know that they said that they're going to implement some of the lore for the corruption and for the ancients technology in here. So I wonder if that has something to do, if all this is tied together somehow. Who knows? I'm ready to figure that out though.
Yeah, and didn't they mention like the ancients are like sealing things into places to prevent, like they're sealing things strategically in these expeditions, through their technology and stuff. So it'll be interesting to see why they're doing that too. So here we go, man. I don't think the foreman is of sound mind right now. He's hurling spirits at us and using stun attacks. Tips and strats. Make sure to stay in the ethereal-like cages that appear in the fight to avoid getting stunned. All right, dude. There's the first mechanic. Yo, let's go. It's hurling spirits. I don't remember seeing anything quite like that in the preview event. So maybe this is a new mechanic and a new type of wraith. But I like the idea of the mechanics, dude. That's what I like to see in dungeons and in PvE type settings. Is mechanics you have to learn and master to complete things. I think it's dope.
Yeah, and this one looks pretty unique, man. Hurling spirits, and it's like a literal, like a spirit, he's pulling a spirit out of his own wraith form and throwing it at you. It looks really, really cool. I like that, dude. It's pretty interesting. That's a pretty unique mechanic. Like, he's not just shooting you with some sort of magic. He's throwing a spirit at you. It's pretty crazy looking.
It is pretty dope. It is pretty dope looking. If you haven't seen the screenshot, it is on their Twitter account. It's pretty cool. Pretty cool. All black and white because, he's a dog. You can't see colors. Apparently. I don't know. How do you figure that out? You know what I mean?
I don't know, dude. I don't know how people know that dogs. I don't know, man.
That's interesting science.
I've wondered that often too.
Dogs probably think we're idiots. Like, we see in color, you morons. Stop talking about us being colorblind or black and white. All right, so here's the next tweet. I think we're getting closer to Master Simon. We need to activate the bridge by standing on the button platform. Lend me your paws in the comments. Okay. Yeah. Anyways, we know, dude. We know now that I'm not going to go into that. We know now that there's another mechanic or type of puzzle in the game by standing on platforms, whether it's in sequence or not, to form a bridge because, he mentions this in the tweet. So what do you think, Bordy? Another hint at, these expeditions and the character that they're going to have with puzzles and unique boss mechanics. It's getting exciting, man, the expedition front.
It definitely is, man, and I like it. They have said or did say whenever they talked about these expeditions to begin with that there were going to be puzzles and the like in these things, and I think this alludes to one right here. We have to activate the bridge by standing on the button platforms. It doesn't go into any more detail than that, so we don't know where the button platforms are, or what you have to do to stand on the buttons, or how many there are, or anything like that. But it will be interesting to see. So it does allude to some sort of puzzle right there, which makes me excited because I like that type of thing in a dungeon, man. I think it adds a little flavor, it adds a little fun, and I enjoy that stuff. So hopefully it's something that's unique and enjoyable, and maybe each dungeon will have its own type of spin. So we'll just have to wait and see. But I like it.
Yes, these, I think, have to stand out from the rest of the content in the game to keep leveling interesting and obviously be repeatable. I mean, you don't want to just run every expedition once and then kind of get the gist of it and not have to run them again. So if you want people to replay things like this, you got to have unique mechanics and unique experiences.
Yeah.
And like you said, I hope that they do, the puzzles are different in each of the expeditions and that they keep down that path, because puzzles are cool, man. I've enjoyed Destiny 2, I think, or Destiny 1 too, did such a great job with these small group raids. They only have 6 players in all their raids, but the mechanics, the jumping puzzles, the actual puzzles in the raid make the experience so much fun. And it's something you don't traditionally think of in an MMO. You think about DPS checks and just those type of things, but actually having puzzles to figure out, I think, is really cool.
Yeah, I agree.
All right, so the next tweet, Barkimedes is reunited with Master Simon. And spoiler alert, Master Simon is the boss in 15% of the locations within the actual real world on the map. So little did Barkimedes know, if he would have looked around a little bit, he might have seen, Master Simon in Brightwood or wherever the heck else this guy is. I think he's the guy in the church of Brightwood or whatever, or from the.
Yeah, it's hard to tell the scaling of this, but it looks like it maybe he's a little bit bigger than the ones we've encountered before. But I've seen this same mob in the open world and whatever, and it doesn't say whether or not this is the final boss in the dungeon here, but I would assume it probably is, but it doesn't specifically state that. But it is a little bit of a letdown. It is the same model. It looks the same as the other bosses we've seen. Now it looks really cool. It looks awesome.
It's really cool looking.
The boss is crazy looking. The problem is we've seen this all over the place, right? Like it's in a couple of the little churches that you find out in the open world while you're exploring. He's in a couple of the fields that you go kill stuff in. I think I even seen this mob in some videos whenever the Reekwater event happened. I think there were a few creators who encountered this mob. I think Sir Medieval is one of them who encountered this mob.
I think he had a cannon on his back.
So maybe a slightly different variation, but I think it looked very similar if my memory serves me correctly. I don't think it was anything crazy. Sure. So it's like there's so many more opportunities in the game to create something very unique, especially for New World, because it is such a unique setting. I hope that they start incorporating some of that and we see a little bit more variation here, because how epic would it have been to walk in or for them to post something that's like some new mob, or your first time walking through this dungeon and you encounter some brand new mob you've never seen before in Eternum, just for the experience. I don't know, man. Who knows? Maybe that's not even the boss though, so maybe we're nitpicking for nothing. Maybe this is halfway point or something, and who knows? Who knows?
It's the boss. They go on to say that we completed the dungeon after killing the Simon.
I know, man.
I know.
I'm trying to just be optimistic, man. I know it's the boss, but I don't know, dude.
Here's the thing.
It is a little disappointing.
Here's the thing. These sound like they're gonna be cool, but dude, we say this a lot, and I believe this, because this is something that they can really, really set themselves apart from any other MMO. And that is, dude, lean into the Dark Souls influence. The entrance to all of these look like that little fadey, Dark Souls entrance where you warp into a bad guy or a boss zone. And to have some unique, crazy boss with crazy mechanics inside of these expeditions would be perfect for a New World and the that Dark Souls influence, to have this really creepy, big looking boss that has these crazy mechanics. And maybe this thing does have different mechanics from the other ones, that you fight outside of the expedition. But like you said, it is a little bit of a letdown. They just basically copy pasted one of the bosses into here. And maybe with the rest of the expeditions, they won't. Maybe they'll have some unique bosses in there too, but I hope that's the case anyways. But yeah, a little bit of a letdown seeing that's the boss that, is in every cathedral and graveyard inside of Everfall and Brightwood. And I'm sure the list goes on. Those are the only 2 places I made it during the preview event that were considered to be in-game. But
Yeah, hopefully we'll get some more variation. I sure hope so.
So
I bet we will at some point.
I think we will because they've already started adding different mob types since the preview event. So I would only hope that they're working on different bosses as well.
Yeah.
So Bordy, we made the right decision. We murdered his owner. Master Simon's rest in peace. So it looks like Simon left us something to keep. You can earn the special rapier weapon in the expedition after defeating Simon Gray. So here we go, dude. This is something I was looking for too. And they hinted at this when they announced the expedition. That's unique loot, dude. So you can only get this special rapier within this expedition.
Look at the tier. Look at the tier right there, man. So is this a mid game dungeon?
Tier 3.
Mm-hmm.
So potentially, yeah, you would think mid game because if they keep the 5-tier, system that they had during the preview event, and another thing, dude, it's a common weapon. Are we gonna have a chance to like?
Yikes,
are we gonna have a chance to
that.
Potentially get like a higher like rarity roll on this? Maybe Simon Gray's toothpick. What? I mean, who names a weapon a toothpick? I don't know, dude. Maybe he picked his teeth with it.
It says clearly Simon Gray did not brush his teeth.
Well, you're not gonna brush your teeth. Oh, okay. Clearly, he didn't brush his teeth. Period. Yeah. Okay. I thought they meant with the rapier. I was like, yeah, that's not what a toothpick's for. Yeah, dude, a common weapon. I would hope that, especially at tier 3 mid game, we're not relying on common weapons as being like something we're willing to equip. I don't know.
Yeah, I hope not. I hope that maybe that's just a bad roll on that weapon, and maybe there's multiple rolls. So maybe that's the point. You go through there and you run it
multiple
a bunch
times
to try to get the highest roll. So maybe you can get probably not a legendary, but maybe at least like a rare or an epic version of the weapon at some point.
Yeah, that would be dope. Hopefully that would constitute rerunning it. Especially if you're a rapier user, right? And maybe there are other unique drops like this inside of the dungeon, and then maybe with different expeditions there would be different named weapons. Like, oh, well, I'm a great axe user, so I would want to try to try to keep doing that until I get the epic great axe or whatever. So this is interesting, Bordy, because I think this will play into the actual in-game experience. We don't know quite yet if these are set or static levels, are these only like, so if we're level 25, this is the only time to viably run this expedition, or are these going to just scale, which nothing in New World that we know of scales at this point. So I don't know why we would believe that, but that's going to be interesting too. Are these just going to be viable for a certain level span, and kind of like World of Warcraft, and once you're past that level, it's kind of obsolete?
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know how they're going to work. I have no idea, man. I have no idea. I kind of hope not. One game that does this really well is Elder Scrolls Online. We talk about that game all the time because I think it's a popular current MMO. But they have a reason to go run those dungeons all the time. At any level, you can run any dungeon, and they make it to where you get rewards, right? Because it's the Undaunted. They have the whole Undaunted system in there, whatever, that gives you rewards. So I think they have a very good dungeon system set up in Elder Scrolls Online.
The monster set system, the gear set system. Yeah, it's
exactly,
in my mind, close to perfect as far as like equipment gathering in MMOs.
Yep, there's a lot of reason to continue to run those dungeons. That's one of the things, Elder Scrolls Online doesn't do everything perfect or everything amazing, but that is one thing that they do, in my opinion, really, really well, is their dungeons, the design of their dungeons, the mobs you encounter, the whole dungeon experience in that game is really good. And then the reason behind wanting to run the dungeons is really good. So maybe they'll take a few pages out of their book and incorporate some things like that. I don't know, because it really would be a shame to have this dungeon sitting here, and then after everyone is playing in game, then what do you do? It's just empty. Nobody ever goes back to that area or does any of that content anymore. That's kind of a shame when that happens in MMOs. So we'll see what happens with it.
Right.
who knows?
Right. And another thing to mention is something like potentially, I think World of Warcraft does this, Elder Scrolls Online, I'm sure Final Fantasy 14 does it as well, is like at the end, like when you get to end game, they have like a higher tiered version of the same dungeon. So maybe once you get to 60, then they have like a veteran level or like a mythic level of this dungeon that you can go back and rerun for higher tiered gear and more XP gain and etc. Hopefully they, because reusing content's fine with me as long as it's fun and viable to do. And that just adds more to the in-game experience as well. So hopefully they figure out some way to recycle these, if they are like set leveled that, you can have a higher difficulty level at in-game.
Yeah, I sure hope so, man. But it does appear that this one is not an in-game dungeon, or at least that's what it looks like here by looking at the drop. But who knows, man? Maybe that picture was a mistake, and maybe it was supposed to be tier 5, or maybe they just did this to throw us off altogether. Who knows?
Maybe, dude. Maybe they wanted us to think we're getting pets. And then,
and then reveal that that's not it at all.
That's not it. All right, man. So that's about it for the tweet strain. The tweet series of Barkimedes. The accounts officially changed back to New World now. So Barkimedes apparently is still sitting outside of the excavation. Waiting for us to join the closed beta testing. So we'll look forward to that then.
Yeah.
All right, man. So that about does it for this episode. Like I said, we didn't have a ton to talk about, but I definitely wanted to cover. I think there's some interesting stuff in this tweet series that they did. This is the most active this account's been in a long time, so it's kind of cool to see that for sure. A lot of people, interacting. Most people just want to, ask for alpha keys in the comments, but there's some interesting other comments in most of these. I can imagine how many times they get asked for an alpha key on the Twitter account.
A lot. Yeah.
I mean, we get asked for alpha keys on our YouTube comments, and we have no power to give them. And that doesn't stop people from asking. So I'm sure I'm sure they're not going to stop asking on the Twitter account either. All right, man. So that about does it. Why don't you go ahead and tell people about our company of the week?
Yeah, man. The company of the week is Patrons of War. They are an NA company, faction Covenant, language English. We don't see a lot of Covenant companies running around, or at least being promoted here on New World Fans. Language English, focus PVX, size 26 to 50. They are currently recruiting, and they have one of the dopest looking guild banners or company banners that I've ever seen, man. It looks amazing. It's like a rabbit wearing a gas mask, and then their logo says Patrons of War with the color scheme of like orange and black, and then under it says make peace or die. Like, that is one of the dopest looking. That is
cool. It's a cool looking thing,
dude. It looks nice. Kudos to whoever did that, man. It looks incredible. I really like it. It's very very unique. I like the rabbit with the gas mask. For some reason that it looks really cool to me. I like it. So
it is cool.
Anyway, it says Patrons of War is a guild centered around creating exciting. Huh?
Are you sure it's a rabbit?
I know. I mean, it has rabbit ears. Why wouldn't it be a rabbit?
Or, I don't know.
I don't know, dude. Come on, man.
I'll DM the leader and see.
Yeah, I'm probably getting it wrong. It's like a bunny, and they're gonna get mad at me for saying it's the wrong animal. Anyway, it looks really cool.
Yeah.
All right, let me get back to this.
My bad.
All right, you're good. Patrons of War is a guild centered around creating exciting events and goals for our community. If you're looking for a guild that is wanting to do all the content with the New World, this is the place. We strive to make every member heard and appreciated. They strive to keep the following criteria in play at all times for those in the community. They want to be community focused on growing, healthy gaming experience, PvP, gathering, crafting guild events, providing help and sharing knowledge with new members. And then they just want to have a very social atmosphere. So then it goes on to explain a little bit more about their company and what they want to bring to the table. And then it says the requirements to join here is a mature attitude, participation in community guild events. You must be active to be a part of their company. Discord is required while in game. Highly adaptable and willing to help out the community. And then, of course, they have their Discord link there at the bottom. So if you want to be a part of Patrons of War, it looks like they have a good thing going here, man. They have a very good outlined description of what they are and what they want out of a company. So if you're wanting to check them out, go to newworldfans.com and you can check them out there. And of course, I'll make sure I link all of that information in all of the descriptions anywhere this podcast can be found.
Yeah, and we thank Patrons of War for using New World Fans to hype up their company. We appreciate you guys.
Absolutely.
Your banner is super dope looking. There is no doubt about that. If you guys want to see it, go check out New World Fans. It's up on their company page. So check that out. All right, Bordy. Well, it's been fun, man. A nice little episode here. We're going to tie this in a nice little bow. Why don't you tell people where to find our content?
Yeah, man. First and foremost, go join our Discord. We'll link that below. We want you guys to come hang out with us. If you're interested in talking about New World or any other games for that matter, we have an awesome community over there, people that play all kinds of stuff, but we have a ton of people waiting for New World to drop. So go join the Discord. And then, of course, you can find us on Twitter at Studio Loot. And then YouTube is Studio Loot, youtube.com/Studio Loot. Go follow it. Go subscribe to it, please.
That'd be fun.
Yeah.
All right, guys. Well, thank you guys so much for listening. We really appreciate it. We'll be back next week, hopefully, with some brand new New World information to talk about, because we're hoping to get that alpha drop this week.
Yes, sir.
So, guys, we can't, again, thank you guys enough for listening, for hanging out with us during these podcasts. Hope you're having a great day, and we will see you on another episode of New World to Go.